hit the subscribe button. Currently only 1.7% of my viewers are subscribe. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll release an exclusive special video just for you. Captain Ian Drake jolted awake as the emergency alarm blared through the Endeavour. A distress signal was flashing on the console, bearing the unmistakable marks of alien origin. It came from a planet marked as unexplored and dangerous. On the bridge, Drake, a seasoned British space explorer known for his sharp mind and bravery, reviewed the garbled images of monstrous creatures wreaking havoc. The Council had warned of galactic monsters, but this was the first real evidence. Despite the Council's warnings and his crew's apprehensions, Drake decided to investigate the distress signal, driven by a mix of duty and an insatiable thirst for discovery. Lieutenant Harper, a Canadian engineer, approached him with a furrowed brow. "Ian, we've all heard the stories. Those monsters are lethal." Drake nodded, understanding Harper's concern. "I know, Harper, but we can't ignore a distress signal. Lives could be at stake." The Endeavour descended towards the planet, its scanners detecting no life signs, only the terrifying creatures roaming the surface. The crew's tension grew as they neared the desolate, rocky terrain. As they landed, the team donned their protective gear and stepped out into the eerie silence of the uncharted world. The landscape was littered with the remnants of a once thriving civilization, now reduced to ruins. Drake led the way, his eyes scanning for any signs of survivors or clues. Harper examined some debris, his voice tinged with unease. "This place, it's like a graveyard. What could have done this?" Amidst the ruins, the team uncovered strange symbols and alien technology, hinting at an advanced, now extinct alien race. The symbols were unlike anything they had seen before, intricate and otherworldly. They followed the symbols deeper into the ruins, driven by the hope of uncovering the truth. In a hidden chamber, they discovered a control room brimming with ancient technology. Screens flickered to life, displaying alien text and images of the monstrous creatures. Drake's eyes widened as he realized the significance of their discovery. "This isn't just a distress signal," he said. "These ruins are a control center for a defense system designed to combat the galactic monsters." Harper looked at him skeptically. "And what do we do with that information? We don't even know how to activate it." Drake's mind raced. "We need to decipher the alien language. There must be a key to activate the system." As they worked to decode the symbols, the ground trembled. The team braced themselves as a monstrous creature emerged from the shadows, its eyes glowing with malevolence. The team scattered, using their wits and quick reflexes to evade the creature's attacks. "Over here!" Drake shouted, leading the team towards an exit. They narrowly escaped, the creature's roars echoing behind them. Outside, they caught their breath, the reality of their situation sinking in. "We can't fight them with our current technology," Harper said, frustration in his voice. "We need that defense system." Drake nodded, determination etched on his face. "And we'll get it. But first, we need to find the key." Back in the ruins, they discovered a hidden passage leading deeper underground. The walls were adorned with more symbols, now familiar patterns emerging. They followed the passage, driven by the urgency of their mission. In a subterranean chamber, they found a console with a holographic display. As they approached, a projection of an alien being materialized. It spoke in a language they had partially deciphered, revealing the location of the key and the truth about the monsters. The monsters were bioweapons created to fend off an even greater threat, Drake translated. The key to controlling them lies in a distant galaxy, but activating the system here will summon them. Harper's eyes widened. "So we risk bringing them here, or we leave Earth defenseless." Drake's mind raced with the implications. "We don't have a choice. We need to activate the system and send a message to the Council. They need to prepare a mission to retrieve the key." As they activated the system, the ruins hummed with energy, drawing the monsters towards them. The team braced for an attack, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The ground shook as the creatures approached, their roars echoing through the chambers. "Hold them off," Drake commanded. "We need to buy time." A fierce battle ensued, the team using every ounce of their courage and ingenuity to fend off the monsters. Despite their efforts, the creatures kept coming, relentless in their pursuit. "We're running out of time," Harper shouted, his voice strained. Drake looked at him, a steely resolve in his eyes. "We have to hold them off. We must ensure the message gets through." In the final moments, as the creatures closed in, Drake managed to send the message. The system's defenses activated, holding the monsters at bay but not eliminating them. The team regrouped, battered but alive, knowing they had bought precious time. As they caught their breath, the council's response came through, indicating they had received the message and were preparing a mission to retrieve the key. Drake looked at his team, a sense of accomplishment mixed with the knowledge of the challenges ahead. Drake's team regrouped, weary but determined. The message had been sent, and the council was mobilizing. They had bought some time, but the galactic monsters were still a pressing threat. Drake knew they needed to decode the rest of the alien language to fully utilize the defense system. "Harper, how's the translation coming along?" Drake asked, trying to mask his exhaustion. Harper, bent over the alien console, didn't look up. "Slowly. The syntax is complex, but we're making progress." Drake moved to Harper's side, scanning the intricate symbols. "We need to hurry. The monsters are getting closer, and our defenses won't hold indefinitely." As they worked, Sergeant Williams, the team's weapons specialist, kept watch near the entrance. His vigilance had saved them more than once. "Captain, something's not right," Williams said, peering into the shadows. "I feel like we're being watched." Drake glanced at Williams, his instincts sharpened by years of command. "Stay alert. They might be probing our defenses." Minutes turned into hours, and the air grew tense with anticipation. Suddenly, Harper let out a triumphant cry. "I've got it! The final sequence. It should activate the full defense system." Drake's heart pounded as he watched Harper input the code. The room thrummed with energy as the ancient machinery awakened. Screens displayed holographic maps of the planet, indicating defensive structures buried deep underground. Williams gripped his rifle, eyes darting around the room. "Captain, I think we've triggered something." Drake's gaze snapped to the monitors. "Everyone, prepare for anything. This could be our chance to turn the tide." The ground shook as hidden turrets emerged from the terrain outside, targeting the encroaching monsters. Beams of energy shot out, striking the creatures with precision. For the first time, they saw the monsters falter. Harper's face lit up with a mix of relief and excitement. "It's working. The defense grid is active." But Drake's relief was short-lived. The largest of the monsters, a towering behemoth, seemed unaffected by the attacks. It roared, its bellow echoing through the ruins. "That one's different," Drake muttered. "It's not going down easily." Williams nodded, eyes narrowing. "We need to find its weakness." Drake turned to the team. "We need to lure it closer. Harper, see if you can overcharge the defense grid. Williams, be ready to hit it with everything we've got." They moved quickly, each member knowing their role. Harper worked furiously at the console, sweat dripping down his forehead. Williams positioned himself strategically, his rifle trained on the approaching giant. As the behemoth closed in, Drake led it towards the center of the defense grid. "Come on, you brute," he muttered under his breath. "Just a little closer." The ground beneath the monster glowed as the grid powered up. Harper yelled, "Now, Captain! Hit it now!" Williams fired, his shots aimed at the creature's glowing eyes. The monster staggered, momentarily blinded. At that exact moment, Harper unleashed the overcharged grid. Beams of energy converged on the monster, and with a final, ear-splitting roar, it collapsed. The team stood in stunned silence, the monstrous carcass smoldering. Drake breathed a sigh of relief. "Good work, everyone. Let's secure the area and assess the damage." Harper slumped against the console, exhausted but smiling. "We did it, Captain. We really did it." Drake nodded, pride swelling in his chest. "We've bought ourselves some time." But we need that key to ensure this doesn't happen again. Williams approached, wiping sweat from his brow. Captain, what's next? We can't hold out here forever. Drake looked at his team, their faces reflecting a mix of exhaustion and determination. We contact the council. We need reinforcements and a plan to retrieve the key. This is far from over, but we've made a start. As they worked to fortify their position, Drake couldn't shake the feeling that their struggle was only beginning. The defense system had given them a fighting chance, but the true battle lay ahead. They had unlocked ancient secrets and glimpsed the power within the ruins, but the galaxy still held many dangers. Harper, though weary, was already diving back into the alien language. Williams kept watch, ever vigilant, and Drake, ever the leader, planned their next steps. They had faced the monsters and lived to tell the tale, but their mission was far from complete. They had to secure the key and ensure the safety of their world and beyond. As the defense grid continued to hum, the team gathered to plan their next move. The discovery of the ancient technology had given them a fighting chance, but the behemoth's defeat only underscored the urgency of their mission. Harper, how long before we can fully understand this language? Drake asked, his voice steady despite the chaos around them. Harper, still exhausted but resolute, glanced up from his terminal. Given the complexity, maybe a few more hours, but we can't wait that long. We need to take action now. Drake nodded. Agreed. Williams, any sign of reinforcements? Williams shook his head, eyes scanning the horizon. Not yet, Captain, but we're not alone out here. I've seen movement. Could be other survivors or something worse. Drake's thoughts raced. They couldn't rely solely on the defense grid. They needed a long-term solution. We have to secure the key, he said. It's our only hope of ending this threat for good. The team moved quickly, their steps purposeful. As they navigated the labyrinthine ruins, they encountered more symbols and passages, each revealing fragments of the ancient civilization's story. Harper documented everything, his analytical mind piecing together the puzzle. These people weren't just defending against the monsters, Harper explained. They were guardians, protecting something even more valuable. Drake's curiosity grew. But what? And why use monsters as weapons? Williams, always the pragmatist, interrupted. We need to focus on finding that key. The rest can wait. Their path led them to a massive door, intricately carved with the same alien symbols. Harper examined it closely. This is it, he murmured. The key should be behind this door. As Harper worked on deciphering the lock, Drake and Williams stood guard. The ruins felt oppressive, each shadow potentially hiding a new danger. Suddenly, the door creaked open, revealing a chamber bathed in an eerie, bluish light. Inside, they found a pedestal holding a small, glowing orb. Harper's eyes widened in recognition. That's it. The key. Drake approached the orb cautiously. What does it do? Harper's fingers danced over his datapad. It's more than just a key. It's a control device, designed to interface with the defense grid and the monsters themselves. Drake reached out, his hand hovering over the orb. This is what we came for. Let's get it back to the control room and see what it can do. The team retraced their steps, the orb safely in Drake's possession. As they emerged into the open, a low growl echoed through the ruins. Williams spun around, weapon ready. We've got company. From the shadows, smaller creatures emerged, their eyes glowing with malevolent intelligence. They were faster and more coordinated than the behemoth, posing a new kind of threat. Defensive positions, Drake ordered. The team formed a tight circle, fending off the relentless attackers. Harper continued to work on the orb, his hands steady despite the chaos. We need to activate this now, Harper shouted. Hold them off for just a little longer. Drake and Williams fought with precision, their years of training evident in every move. But the creatures kept coming, their numbers seemingly endless. Just when it seemed they might be overwhelmed, Harper yelled, "Got it!" A wave of energy pulsed from the orb, sending the creatures into a frenzy. They writhed and convulsed before collapsing, lifeless. The ruins fell silent once more. Drake looked at Harper, impressed. "What did you do?" Harper held up the orb, its glow now subdued. "It's a neural disruptor. It can control or disable the monsters. But we need to get it to the main control room to access its full capabilities." With renewed purpose, the team made their way back to the control room. The defenses they had activated earlier provided a temporary reprieve, but they knew it wouldn't last. Harper quickly interfaced the orb with the ancient system, the screens lighting up with new data. "This will give us control over the entire defense network," Harper explained, "and potentially the monsters themselves." Drake's eyes narrowed. "We can turn their own weapons against them. It's our best chance." As Harper worked, Williams kept a vigilant watch. "Let's hope reinforcements arrive soon. We can't hold out forever." The control room buzzed with activity as the ancient systems came to life. Harper's fingers flew across the console, integrating the orb's power with the grid. Outside, the defensive turrets resumed their deadly precision, targeting any approaching threats. Drake felt a glimmer of hope. They had a fighting chance, but the real challenge lay ahead. They needed to secure the key and harness its full power to ensure their survival. Drake watched as the control room filled with light, the ancient machinery humming with newfound energy. The orb Harper had interfaced with the system was their last hope to fully activate the planet's defenses and control the monsters. The ancient technology, now awakened, displayed maps and data that hinted at the civilization's purpose. Guardians against an even greater threat. "Harper, can you establish a link to our base?" Drake asked, his eyes scanning the screens. Harper nodded, his fingers moving rapidly over the console. "I'm on it, Captain. We need to coordinate with the Council and update them on our progress." As the connection was established, Williams stood guard at the entrance, ever watchful. "We can't let our guard down. Those creatures are still out there." The communication link crackled to life, and a familiar voice filled the room. "Captain Drake, this is Counselor Vega. We've received your message. Reinforcements are on their way, but it will take time. What's your status?" Drake responded quickly, detailing their discoveries and the immediate threat posed by the monsters. "We have control of the ancient defense grid, but it's not enough. We need the key's full power to secure the area and eliminate the threat." Counselor Vega's voice was steady. "Do whatever it takes, Captain. The survival of our world depends on your success." As the transmission ended, Drake turned to his team. "We have our orders. Harper, continue working on the control system. Williams, keep watch and prepare for any new attacks." Hours passed as Harper delved deeper into the alien technology, uncovering more about the defense system. The room was filled with a sense of urgency and anticipation. Each discovery brought them closer to unlocking the full potential of the key. "Captain, I think I've got it," Harper said, a hint of excitement in his voice. "There's a way to amplify the defense grid using the planet's core energy. It will give us the power we need to neutralize the monsters." Drake's eyes lit up. "Can we do it from here?" Harper shook his head. "No, we need to access the central power conduit located deep within the ruins. It's risky, but it's our best shot." Drake didn't hesitate. "Let's move. Williams, you're with us. Harper, lead the way." The team ventured deeper into the ancient structure, the path illuminated by the soft glow of the orb. The air was thick with the remnants of the past, a silent testament to the civilization that once thrived here. As they approached the central power conduit, they encountered more resistance. Smaller creatures lurked in the shadows, their eyes glowing with an eerie intelligence. Williams took point, his weapon ready, dispatching the creatures with precise shots. "We're getting close," Harper said, his voice barely a whisper. "The conduit should be just ahead." They entered a vast chamber dominated by a colossal energy core, its surface pulsating with raw power. Harper quickly set to work, connecting the orb to the core's interface. The room vibrated as the ancient system synced, drawing energy from the planet's core. "Hold on. This is going to get intense," Harper warned. Energy surged through the conduit, and the defense grid's output magnified exponentially. Outside, the effects were immediate. Turrets fired with increased precision and power, decimating the advancing monsters. Drake watched the displays, satisfaction mixing with relief. It's working. We've got them on the run. But their victory was not yet assured. The largest of the creatures, the behemoth they had encountered earlier, reappeared seemingly immune to the enhanced defenses. Its roar echoed through the ruins, a challenge they could not ignore. "We need to take it down," Drake said, determination etched on his face. "Harper, is there anything more we can do?" Harper's eyes darted over the controls. "There's one last option. We can overload the core, channeling all its energy into a single devastating blast. But it will drain the system completely." Drake considered the risk. "Do it. We can't let that thing survive." Harper initiated the overload sequence, the energy core glowing brighter and brighter. The ground trembled as the power built to a critical point. "Brace yourselves." The conduit released a massive pulse of energy, directed straight at the behemoth. The creature roared in defiance but was overwhelmed by the sheer force of the blast. It disintegrated, leaving nothing but silence in its wake. The team collapsed in exhaustion, the weight of their ordeal finally catching up with them. Harper looked at Drake, a weary smile on his face. "We did it, Captain." Drake nodded, his expression a mix of pride and exhaustion. "We couldn't have done it without each other." As they made their way back to the control room, the communication link reactivated. "Captain Drake, this is Counselor Vega. We've detected a massive energy surge from your location. Report." Drake took a deep breath, his voice steady. "The threat has been neutralized. We've secured the area and activated the planet's defenses. Reinforcements can proceed with the retrieval mission." "Well done, Captain. You and your team have ensured the safety of countless lives. Return to base for debriefing and recovery." Drake turned to his team, their faces showing a mixture of relief and accomplishment. They had faced the monsters and survived, but more importantly, they had uncovered the secrets of the ancient civilization and used them to protect their world.